So what I want us to do is to start becoming more conscious, start choosing things in a better way for ourselves, and start creating a life that's going to gear us to really take advantage of the opportunities that are going to show up for us in the years to come.
This podcast is brought to you by The Integrated Human. We work up, down, inside out to plug yourself into your potential. If you want to see what we are up to and what's next, sign up to our newsletter or follow us on social media. If you like what we are doing, we really appreciate it if you can like our post on social media and YouTube and help us grow.
All right. Welcome to the Big and Small podcast. This is Jason Shields, and I'm Big.
And I'm Marit Gabrielsen, and I'm the tiny one.
Welcome. And yes, I do have shorts on.
Yes.
It is summertime.
It's actually summertime. It's so warm.
Yeah.
And if you're on YouTube today, you will see that me and Jason are representing... what was the flowers again?
The flowers? Ebony and ivory? That's
Yes.
like the keyboard colors.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Those aren't flowers.
That was flowers.
No.
thought
Ebony and ivory. They're
It sounds like flowers.
Ivory is like tusks from elephants.
And
ivory, ebony is wood and such. That's like a keyboard
okay.
on the piano.
I thought it was flowers.
Well, okay.
Well, I knew it was colors.
Yeah.
Kind of white and light and dark and black,
yeah,
but I
yeah.
thought they were flowers.
Well,
Ebony. How is that not a flower name?
Right,
Really?
yes.
It's a flower name.
ebinosis. Or,
Yes, well,
Ebinorum.
we learned something today.
Yeah.
That was not what we're going to talk about today.
No. Oh, and I have a correction.
Oh, yeah.
Very important. You know how we have to correct the mistakes we've made
Do we?
previously? Yeah, do we?
Do we?
Yeah, but we're always like getting, we misquote a movie and then...
Oh, yeah, we do
movie
that all
buffs
the time.
Well, last time I talked about SARA, which is SARA, which is the Swedish Academy for Realistic Art. I said Scandinavia. It's the best school in Scandinavia, but it's the Swedish Academy for Realistic Art. Okay?
That was the correction.
I misquoted last time. Sorry, Mrs. Tumak. I'm sorry about that. I messed it up. So
Well, we're good that we have good people that correct us.
that's right. Yes.
And we are not ashamed to get corrected.
Nope. No. That's the whole point. Just fix it and keep moving.
Let's fix it and keep moving. Acceptance. Yeah,
Acceptance. Yeah. Let's go. I love it. I can accept that.
No, I was just... I always look at people.
Yeah.
And I look at myself.
Yep.
Most of all, everything. But thinking about acceptance, one thing I found during the process through the Integrated Human is that, we talk about it with Gurdjieff.
Yeah. Nice.
Starting to get it.
Ooh.
The Russian philosopher.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on a roll here. Thank you. He says that first rule of getting out of prison is to accept that you're in prison.
Yeah. Well, you first have to
Know that you are there
that
to
you're
get
in
out of
prison.
there.
Yeah. You have to know that you're there.
And to accept where you are in your life is you have to do that to be able to change your life.
Yeah. What is it?
But
Yeah.
the mismatch between where I am, where I want to be, and where I think I am.
Ah.
Because I talk to other people, I talk to myself, and I see that it's often that I know what I want, or maybe not, but if say that you do know you have like this big future plan, a goal in the future of a state of whatever it is.
I want to be enlightened.
For instance, so that's out there, and you understand that to get there, you need to understand where you are now. But sometimes you get in your own way because where you think you are is not where you are.
Yeah.
So how do you know that when you're going to accept where you are, that that's actually where you are and not a thought that you have?
Yeah.
So if I think that I got my shit together,
Yeah.
but I don't.
Yeah.
Well, then I have an issue. But if I don't know that I have an issue because it's not the right foundation, like how do you know that you, when you, because everybody, you need to accept where you are, and I think people understand that, but how do you actually know that what you find out is where you are? For instance, we worked on values,
Yeah.
and because we're building the integrated human, and we are Steve's coming in and putting in the TRE, which is changing name soon. Just wait.
So trauma releasing
Releasing
exercises
exercises
are becoming neurogenic integration technique.
Yes. So we kind of, and we are super strong together, but we want to be even better.
And it's fueled by the integrated human.
Yes. So we're trying to figure out how to work this, and we looked at values, and it was a very interesting process. And we looked at our values, and I said I found mine, and I told you them. He's like, yeah, that's correct. But sometimes you look at the values, and you can't recognize the person.
Yeah, that's right.
So if Kim over here is gonna find 7 of his values, and he tells them to me, and I don't recognize the person, how do you work with this? How do you? It's a big rounded question here, but
Yeah, this seems like a very simple question in one way, but it's a very complicated question in the other. It's actually quite complicated. So let's break it down.
yes,
First, there are 2 questions that everybody should ask themselves. What is it and why? So what and why? The what in your life will allow you to orient yourself. You can orient yourself in your life by asking what things are. And it sounds like, oh, what am I ask what a car is? No, but yes.
it's a transportation device.
It's a transportation device, and that's it. It's not a reflection of your sexual prowess. It's not, showing everybody,
It doesn't show how rich you
it
are.
doesn't actually show how rich you are, So the important thing is to ask yourself constantly what things are when they arise, so that you can understand its limitations and use. So that's one level of things. And then you ask yourself why. Why are you choosing this in your life? Why is it here? Why are you having to relate with it? And it sounds really funny, and it sounds really heavy in a way if you're going to ask yourself this about everything, but you're not. It's the things that really kind of catch your attention, and especially things that constantly come up as a conflict or an irritation. A conflict. I think that I look like a supermodel athlete, except that now my pants don't fit. So first I have to ask myself, what's going on here?
And then you
What
have
is
someone is shrinking my pants.
Yeah, exactly. There
you
must
are.
be some kind of heat coming into my closet where my pants are shrinking, and
I don't understand.
Damn, the person who's washing my clothes. Well, that's me. They must be putting it on hot, so it's too small now, right?
Mm-hmm.
No. So I ask myself, what is this? Oh, my pants are the same size. My belly's bigger. Why? Oh, because only when I can then start asking myself why can I fix it. And then you sit down with yourself or your friend, and Maudette was like, yeah, you're a little chubbier than you were. My pants still fit, by the way. But you're a little chubbier than you were before because you've had an injury. You're training a little less. Okay, that's one why. And then we look at it. My muscle mass is still high, so I'm lifting, but maybe I'm not able to walk or run, so I'm moving a little less than I was before. Yeah, and I can't train jiu-jitsu right now, so that means that I'm not burning those extra calories. So where can I attack this? I can attack this on what I'm eating. Yeah, but I'm a big man, and I have lots of muscles, and I should be able to eat 3,200 calories a day and not gain weight and all this. Yeah, but it's easy to get those calories, even though I'm eating really smart in the beginning of the day. If I have a snack here or I have an extra cracker there, and it's always the extra small things that you're eating.
It's never your dinner.
It's never the dinner, right?
It's the chocolate. It's the that you just don't realize that you had.
The hand of nuts.
The hand of nuts. Yeah, it's insane. It's the if you have a I do this. Like if you have like a bowl in the morning,
Yeah.
you forget by 4 o'clock that you
bun.
had it.
Yeah.
A bun. So at 4 o'clock you forgot that you had it. So of
Yeah.
course you're gonna have dessert.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, I deserve dessert.
And then in
I've been
summers you're
working-
gonna have ice cream for dinner, like for evening snack.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna have like ice cream on the way home after a bun in the morning, and then in the evening you're gonna have dessert
Because you
it's-
forget that you had them.
Yeah.
But then everybody does that.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the why. But it's kind of a sneaky why, right? So, but first I had to identify that somebody wasn't shrinking my pants.
True.
Now, another thing is I could also go into and I'm using this whole pants analogy. I don't have any issues with my pants. I
We just don't try to insult too many so people can.
Yeah, just we're breaking this down in a simple way. So the thing is that you go to the next piece of this and you go back to the what. If you're not willing to ask yourself what's actually going on and to reevaluate irritation, situations with irritation or conflict or paradox, then you're going to be in trouble. Then you don't grow. It's like, this is just the way I am. My belly always is hanging over my pants. I have the Dunlap disease. My stomach Dunlap my belt. It's like if you're not willing to do that work, and a lot of people are not willing to reflect or don't even know they can reflect because they think just life is like this. I many times I come to a point when I'm working with athletes or I'm consulting, and Maude does the same thing when she's consulting people. You get to a point where people just stop. They just don't. They kind of get to the edge of where they have been aware, and they don't want to be conscious or aware after that. They just like, yeah, but that's just the way I am. Why?
That's the reason why I went from when I was a personal trainer. I didn't want to become a personal trainer anymore.
Yeah.
I wanted to do something else because you hit that with everybody, and as a personal trainer, I didn't have enough knowledge. I hadn't done enough for myself. We say, and you will see that a patient, a client, whatever, can't get better than the one that's consulting or the doctor.
Yeah.
Because if I haven't done the work, how can they do that work?
Yeah. I'm bringing a level of awareness to that person.
Yeah.
And my level of awareness is the limitation for what I can teach.
Yeah. And I had so many clients, and they made such a big difference in their life. But when it came to actually, because they but to take it one step further to become more, we always hit into that problem. They hit that. And I, at that point, hadn't done enough. And I was really starting to get really fascinated by, I'm hitting this with everybody. Like the capacity they have is like they filled up this box.
Yeah.
And then they kind of meet themselves.
Yeah. And that's the paradox.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're conflicted. They're unaware. They've never asked themselves the questions in that area.
All the excuses start popping
The
up.
excuses to defend it because they have maybe some embarrassing reason for being like this, or they have some kind of unconscious link that if I do this, then that means this. And this I want. This thing's not good, but this I want. So I'll do this, even though it's not appropriate to get this. And I may not even know that they're linked because I
most
haven't
likely
actually
not.
even evaluated them. Like,
So what you often saw is that we hit that, and then because neither them or me at that point knew how to continue
yeah,
or what question to ask, and it's not your job as a personal trainer maybe to ask those questions.
Yeah, well,
but you do because you talk between the sets.
yeah,
So you reach that point, and then they just start self-sabotaging.
yeah, exactly.
They start canceling the appointments.
Yep.
And then like
They
stuff,
start
or they just
binge eating. They start
something,
doing
some excuses
weird
comes
thing,
up,
yeah.
and then they go down again,
Yep.
and then we build up again.
Every limit in your life has this thing, unless you just say, okay, you know what, you get to a limit and you're like, this is enough. Like before my hip injury, I should have known that being able to pull 230 kilos was enough. But then I just started wanting to jump with it. And then I landed and broke my hip. which is stupid. And I have to ask myself why I pushed beyond that limit. That's number one. But I could have just accepted that, okay, you know what? I do a combat sport and there's nobody who's 230 kilos for me to lift. So why do I need to lift more than that? I don't. I was strong enough, right? So there's always these reasons why we do things, and then we have to go back and evaluate, why do you do things? Why do you limit yourself? So every limitation in your life has a reason. Oh, it's because of my kids. Oh, it's because well, is it because of your kids? Is it? What is it? And again, what's the mechanic? What is it? And what's the mechanic of it? Why?
Is it a
What and
legit
why?
reason?
Yeah.
Or is it an excuse?
Excuse or an escapism?
So it's one of those three.
And is it
right?
accurate?
Yeah.
Is it
4.
accurate?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it accurate? Like the thing is that very often we have a lot of rationalizations that are not accurate. And you'll know when people start asking you questions about it.
You get angry.
You often get very angry and frustrated when you meet that wall. You meet the wall. So, and not that every time you get angry is like that, but very often it's the case. Like he triggered me. Why is that triggering for you? Guys, the guy's being an asshole and he's not being kind. Okay, good. But if it's because it's hitting something inside you, you need to address it. And that's how you progress. When you pick your values, this is the interesting thing. If you have a list of 15 values in your life, things that you really prioritize, and you decide, okay, I'm going to pick 8 of these, and you write them down in order. Like, this is the most important thing for me. This is the second most important thing for me. And you don't have to have that organization. Just write 8 of them and then organize them what you think is important. And then you give the same list to your friend who knows you really well, and you ask them to pick the values that they see you living. That's an interesting thing. Because if they don't match, then you know that most likely, number one, they're probably not perceiving you like you perceive yourself. And number two, you have to ask yourself, are you actually living your values? Because the idea of who you want to be and who you are in your everyday life, you always have to have a desire to get better. It's not that. But
And you can change your values.
And you can change your values. That changes in your lifetime.
Yeah. But when we did this exercise, because I thought it was so funny, because we got this list, because there's so many values. So you kind of just have to find a list and have something to work out from.
Yeah.
And there was so many nice words. So many contribution.
Ooh, contribution.
Grace.
Ooh, gotta have that grace.
Family. Partnership.
Ooh. Yeah.
And I'm like, nope. I'm like, oh, I wished I'm like, oh, that sounds so nice to have contribution on my value list. And I go, yeah, you don't know. You don't do that. Do you know what you want? You want power. So, you know, and then it's not that I don't, and I talked to a friend, very kind guy. And he said, we talked about this because I just found it very interesting because I looked at the word contribution again. It's so nice, like you are including, and then because I would like to have contribution on my list. It would be really nice to show that to people, like I have contribution as one of my values. It's a virtue people would respect me for.
Yeah, it's like virtue signaling.
Oh,
like,
yeah, I'm so good.
And then contribute so much.
I kind of, and there's this small mouth goes, oh, that would be nice to have. That would people like. And then I just kind of slightly hit myself in the back of the head and go, is that what you want? Is it? No, I don't want that. You do contribute, but it's because you want power, because you would like to have influence and change.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's write power instead. It's not as, but you don't want to write that because it's
not as flowery.
It's not flowery, and people will say, "Oh, it's kind of so you are Trump, kind of." But there's the wonderful process I had around it, because it's the truth. I want power.
Yeah, and the reason you want power is so that you can affect change.
Yes,
because you see suffering and you see all these things.
I would like
in
to,
a way, it is a contribution, and you do contribute because of that.
Yes.
But if you say power, because people are so terrified of being controlled and they don't own their own power, they don't understand it's the same as being strong.
Yeah, and it's big, and because power also means that you earn the spot to have that power.
Yeah, that's the
So
point.
you've done the
You've
work.
worked.
The word you say matter because
Yeah.
you've done it.
Yep.
It's and through that true power, I will contribute.
Yeah.
But like this guy I talked to him said, yeah, but oh no, you should have contribution. He hasn't seen all the sides, and I said, thank you. Then I'm doing the right thing with my power.
Yeah.
But I'm not a contributionist.
Yeah, you're not a person who wants to contribute just for the good feeling of having contributed. You
I
want to
don't
see
do
things
volunteer.
change because you suffer with the people who are suffering, and
Yes.
that's the issue. And it's very, very, very wise. I agree. I see that's an accurate statement about who you are.
Yeah, but that's the interesting part, because when you do look at the value list, for instance, or you do look at your life, you so many things that, oh, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who I want to be. That's who I am. And then you find a reason, because I could find a lot of reasons to say that I contribute, like to justify that I have contribution as one of my values.
Yeah.
But then I need to ask myself, is it accurate?
Yeah. Is it accurate?
Is
That's
it?
Is it?
No, it's not. It's a byproduct of how I use my power.
Yeah.
But it's not a main core value.
Yeah. Exactly.
And to have that, be open enough and honest enough and accept that about yourself. And that say that you want something that's not as flowery, nice and round, so you want power. Well, if you want it, you want it. And you need to accept that.
Yeah. You need to see what that is and own it.
Because if not, you can't work with it.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is that say that you think you're contributing, and that's your thing, but what you actually want, like, is power, then you're gonna start using that wrong.
You'll do both. You'll do both poorly. That's the problem is you'll do both poorly. That's correct. And that kind of work takes a lot of evolution and development, because first of all, you have to understand that all values are present at all times. You have everything constantly. Everything's always available and also always being expressed in some way, shape, or form, depending on point of view. That's number one. Which is unbelievable and mind-breaking and difficult to understand, but once you understood it, it changes your life. The next thing is, if you have to understand each one of those values. So what is power? And, because they say that absolute power corrupts absolutely and all that, right? That's true. But we're talking about absolute power. And nobody in the physical form has absolute power. That's the point. They can kill you, maybe, but everybody can kill you with their car. They can run you over. I mean, why don't everybody's paranoid of giving somebody power because they're gonna kill, they're gonna massacre, they're gonna control me, and all this stuff. But they can do that anyway. They just choose not to all the time. Everybody can do that to everybody, no matter how big and strong you are, and you lift weights. They can still hit you with a car. And I'm not advocating that, my friends. But the point is that being powerful in yourself is not a bad thing. It's just like people have this idea that money is evil. That if you get, rich people are bad people. If you're rich, you must have tricked somebody. You must have stolen some. That's not true. They just prioritize that. And once they have it, hopefully they use it for something good. But inherently, power, money, all of these things are not good or bad. It's how you yourself choose to use them. The case is often if you have earned that power, if you've evolved and worked for that, you've done that over time and you understand it, and then you almost by default use it correctly. It's when you're given lots of power and don't understand it. That's when things go sideways. So as you are evolving in your process and you're working on your own personal power, and that's almost always just a good thing.
But then the question again comes back to the original question here. So say that I'm one of those that my list doesn't fit.
Yeah.
how, like what I say that I have
Yeah.
written contribution, how to accept that is actually power that you want, that it's something else than what you think, that you think you are somewhere in life.
Yeah.
You think you are in, you believe, hand on your heart, arms in the air, that I live in Barcelona.
Yeah.
Barcelona is where I live. But the truth is you live in Alaska.
Yeah.
How do you help yourself to understand that, well, it's minus 30 degrees outside. It's not Barcelona. How do you help yourself adjust your lenses?
You look at your lack of results and the things you don't understand in your life, because that shows you where you're not being who you think you are or want to be.
Elaborate.
Basically, when you think you're amazing and your skills are awesome, but you keep losing. I'm a world champion, but I never win.
Sorry.
Right?
Yeah, you know what?
Then you're not a world champion. But in my heart of hearts, I'm a world champ. I'm a champ. I'm the champ. Yeah, but are you behaving like a champ? Well, but I'm a champ. Yeah, but are you behaving like a champ? I'm having an issue right now with a couple of my fighters that they have all these huge ambitions about where they want to be in their life, but they're missing 80% of the behavior. And they don't understand that it's the behaviors that they kind of like sitting like a guy that they know that they look up to, and they're like talking like that guy, and they're showing up late to warm-ups, and because that's what that guy does, thinking that those are the things that make that guy a champion. But actually, the things that make that guy a champion is that he maxes out all of his training time all the time, and he's always at training no matter what. Now, these guys they have all kinds of reasons for not showing up at training, but they're not showing up at training. How are you going to be a world champion if you're not showing up to training? They're not committing to a team. They're not deciding to be here or there. They're like wondering if they should go somewhere else to train, wondering if they should be here to train, don't quite know where they're going to train. They're not grateful to their surroundings. They go to competition, and they're hardly thanking the group that they train with. They don't think they're trainers. They don't think they're coaches. They're not grateful for the cooperation. It's like all of those things, having a network around you and having people connected to you and showing up and doing the work, those are the things that make you a champion. It's not thinking that you're a champion. It's behaving, taking all of those things and becoming that champion, and then knowing you're a champion. So it's sooner or later going to become apparent for these boys. Of course, they're men. Women are way smarter than that. That until they start doing the things that champions do, not wearing the t-shirts, not wearing the sneakers, the same sneakers that the people who are winning are doing. It has nothing to do with it. It's behaving, eating, sleeping, thinking, working, participating, relating like a champion. They will never have success, period. So in that process of them constantly trying and putting energy in, they come to a point of desperation. Generally, it's emotional desperation. And the emotions, what we say is it's up, down, inside out. So as we act in the world, it's from up, down, but up also implies that you're taking in all the information. And taking in your emotional information helps you change the way you're aware and the way you focus. So you come to a point of desperation that I'm doing everything that I know to do and it's not working. Then you know you have a paradox.
Yeah, that's when I often feel that then I have to make a decision.
Yeah,
Either,
about something.
Because this is where it's, I think what's been very fun with them, now it's starting to be fun with all the process we've been working, is that now I can, when that comes up, I know now I can make a choice.
Yeah.
I can either make the excuse, fall back to old patterns, or I can decide to take a step forward.
Yeah. Exactly.
I can now decide, is this the person I want to be?
Yeah.
Or, and then because we've done the work and through the integrated human process, I often see, no, I want that in the future. Well, then I better now take that step forward.
Exactly.
If so, I'm watching Grey's Anatomy, for instance.
Fun.
Well, it's addictive.
Addictive, yeah.
I, for a reason, have waited. It's been 19 years now, I think it's been running. And for a reason, I didn't start watching it. I never watched an episode until a month ago.
Uh-oh.
And I'm getting to this point at night. Because you get it. I cry every day now because you get so emotional and they die. I'm like, oh my God, I haven't watched this before. Thank God I haven't watched this before. But I get to the point and I catch myself because at evening, you know, we've been working the whole day. We have trainings. We talk to clients. And then I get home. And this is also the time where I have time to do my work. And then I look at the TV. And I have the option to make a decision. Am I gonna watch 4 episodes of Grey's Anatomy?
Yeah.
Or am I gonna do that work, reflect on that thing? Will take me maybe just half an hour. I can still watch Grey's Anatomy afterwards.
Yeah.
Or am I going to sit down and work my values, for instance, for half an hour?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a choice.
Yeah.
And I know when that pop up, it's a choice. And then I just realized on my deathbed,
Yeah.
I'm not going to regret not having watched more Netflix.
Bingo.
That's not what I'm going to regret.
Exactly.
I'm alone at home, so it's not quality time with my husband. Grey's Anatomy will be online for the rest of my life.
Yep.
I will not regret not watching more Netflix.
Yeah. I stopped watching TV.
Yeah, but this work, working my values, will help me reach my potential, my goal, my future.
Yeah.
Well, then I make the decision.
Yep.
And I work my values.
Yep.
So I feel when you get to that point, it's all about decision making. But you need to be clear enough to see that you are at the crossroad.
Yeah.
And that's why this process has been so helpful, because before I was getting just thrown around, you know, with emotions. I was, but I'm doing everything. And it would be self-hate and self-hammering. And I would be all this, or excuses, all patterns, all of that. But now I can actually see this is a crossroad. It's a decision making here. I can make a decision. Before that was unconscious. And I would have, but I was tired, Jason. I need some time alone. I need
some me time.
I need some me time. 5 hours of Grey's Anatomy
is
more than half a work day.
That's half a work day. Or
more.
Well, for us.
Yeah, but it's half a work day.
7 hours. We
do
work
you
10,
need
15 hours?
Do you need 5 hours of Grey's Anatomy?
No.
Do you? No. But I couldn't see that it was a decision that I made.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I had a valid excuse.
Yeah.
I didn't go to training. Yeah, but I had work.
What about me?
What
about me?
I didn't go to training because I had work.
Yeah.
I didn't show up to my appointment because I don't have the money for it. All of the reasons why I would do it, I'm too tired to look at my values. It's okay.
Yeah, take a nap for 15, 20 minutes.
But it's still your decision to not do your values.
Yeah.
It's still your decision to prioritize work over training.
Yeah.
It's still your decision that you chose to go to Mallorca instead of, and using all your money there.
Yeah.
Now, especially from Norway, because
the euro is very strong.
And compared to the Norwegian crown. So if you live in Europe, come to Norway now. It's actually cheap for you guys. You know, but that you made that decision, so you can't pay your electricity bill during the fall,
rent or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, but I need it. It's fine, but you made that decision, so to own that and to accept why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah, and that's the thing, to know that you have that decision. You have the ability to be aware of that, and to work with it.
How do you build that awareness?
You have to just dare to believe that your life can be better. You have to dare to believe that you can evolve, and you have to ask yourself what and why. That's it. It seems like a very simple thing, but most people think that they don't know that they could have it better. They don't know that it could be easier. They don't know that they could do more. It's like my dad told me one time, if you need something done, find the busiest person you know and give it to them.
It's the best strategy ever.
Yeah, because
It
they
works
get
every
shit
time.
done. They get shit done. And the person who's not that busy spends all day doing one thing. And they're never going to get what you want done. You find a person who's super busy, they know they can do more if they have to. There's an infinite amount of progress we can make in our lives. It's just deciding, first of all, or understanding that you can evolve, you can progress, and then do it. And then try to get a peer group around you and a coach if you can. That's why we do consultations for Olympic athletes. That's why we do the Integrated Human works with CEOs. That's why we work with moms and dads also. But that's why we work with people, because sometimes you need somebody to help you look, because it's very difficult to see your own eye unless you have a mirror. You have to have somebody who's going to reflect your truth for you.
And to have someone to work close with, so you can get rapid progress,
rapid growth,
instead of having to hit yourself in the head many times because you can't see what you can't see.
That's it.
We all of us have this family member that we go, if you just did that thing, life would be so much easier.
It would be so easy. It would be so easy. Just take that one small thing away.
But to do that for yourself,
it's very difficult.
Very difficult
because you're getting through your life. You're thriving and surviving and working the full range of your personality, and
you have a reason for everything.
Have reason for everything. That's why you're doing it, right? And this is another thing I just have to bring up. I've never seen a more dysfunctional group of human beings than the group of people who call themselves life coaches.
Sorry. I love it. It's so true.
It's so interesting. And now this is the thing. Shamans and holy people and great coaches often come from tragedy. They come from sickness. They come from being broken. But you have to fix yourself first. You have to achieve something in your life before you want to help other people. Please. What is going on?
That you have a life doesn't mean that, oh my God, I gotta
pick
get
up
burned.
some skills. Pick up some skills. Pick up some cred. Pick up some achievement in your life. That's the thing. You go into the spiritual realm. Show some evolution. Show some progress. Show some ability to make things happen in yourself and around you. And I've done these things. No, man, you haven't. Unless you have, right? If you want to share with other people and you're like, oh yeah, but you're being critical, that's not evolved. It's not about me saying that I'm evolved, but I've achieved things in my life on the outside and on the inside. That's why I can stand and talk. That sounds egotistical, but it's a fact. Many people haven't gone through that self-reflection process enough to figure out even the most basic things about themselves. Just meditating is not going to help you, my friends. I have friends that have meditated for 50 years, but they have no ability to reflect on themselves. That's so weird. Not that you have to meditate, but you have to reflect. That's why I'm saying this. It's not to slam the modern day life coach, because there's some really good ones out there. I'm not saying it, but ask them to talk about how they were wrecked and they built themselves back up. Ask them how they went from 0 to 100. Ask them how they achieved something in their life, how they took the hard decisions. Ask them to qualify for this. qualify for stepping up in the role. Pick your peers consciously. That's what I'm saying. It's not about slamming people. It's about telling you, if you want to move forward in your life, pick people who have moved forward so that they can show you how they did that.
I think one of the best examples that you gave me there was the someone gave you the advice, or you knew you're gonna remember and say who it was, but the guy that said went to the bank with $1 million,
Yeah.
and said that, what do I do with it? And the bank man lady kind of just threw out there, this and do this and that, and it's just make a decision. And then he asked that person, have you ever had $1 million? And the person said, no. Then don't give me advice.
Yeah, that's it. He went to the, exactly.
Yeah.
He
So
went to the bank,
if you haven't,
Trond.
yeah. So it's so important that if you have anxiety, ask the person you're coaching, how did you deal with your anxiety?
How'd you deal? Exactly.
And if they can't give you a solid, good advice, go to the next one.
Yeah, then you know that's not the person to advise you on that thing.
If you need money, need to invest money, first of all, ask a person, how did you get your money?
Yeah.
Because if they're getting from the lottery ticket, it's not self-made.
Yeah.
So their thought around money will be different than your self-made money.
Yep.
And then second, ask them how they invested them.
Yeah.
Because if they haven't done that work, they have no clue how to deal with it.
Yeah, you have a person who's investing your money in shares. What a lot of people don't understand is that they actually make money when they move your money. They don't make money because you make money. So regardless of how much money you make, they don't care if you make money, actually. They only care to move your money from one stock to the other because that's when they make percentages. So a lot of people think, well, my stockbroker's, he's the man because he's going to help me. Guys, you should find a stockbroker that has enough money to invest himself. And that's one of those things. I took financial advice from Chuck Mellon, who was the guy who has the world record for making money on the options market. He had a portfolio of like $500 million in the options market, which you think, oh, that's not much money. In the options market, that's massive. That's massive. And I asked him to give me advice because that was his money, right? So when you want awareness and consciousness and help, go to people who have achieved and have worked and have reflected. That's the point. And that's why we want this process, the integrated human process, out there so that we get a larger and larger group of people who do reflect and evolve together. Because then we get a giant peer group and then we all move forward together. And that's the power for change. So remember, you matter. Unless you multiply yourself by the speed of light squared, then you're energy. But if you can't be energy, matter.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. We hope you felt we added something to your day and hopefully your life. If you want to learn more, subscribe to our newsletter and find us at integrated-human.com. That is integrated-human.com. Integrated Human on YouTube and other social media platforms. Have a great day and thank you again for listening. Love, light, and upgrade from us at the Integrated Human team.